What's going on, Philadelphia? Hello, everybody. Welcome from Sandbox Studios. I'm John Barchard. Over to my left is the lovely Vince Quinn, and, of course, Taylor Cordatis on the ones and twos as usual. And spelling the Birdmen. We're excited to be back. Sorry for the slight layoff here over the weekend, but it is with good news. And we will be telling you all about that on this particular episode, so stay tuned for that. I did want to remind you that you can see me and Vince's beautiful face at Top Tomato this Thursday. That is the 12th of May. If you are watching this or listening to this right now, it is our big autism event with E-Rock, who's thrown this all together at Top Tomato. The guys over at 4th and John. We might have a couple of special guest appearances that show up, but if you're coming by, like our good friend Brad Cohen is, shout out to you, Brad. Thanks for texting us, 215-509-5833. Let us know you're going to be there. We'd love to buy you a drink. And, of course, as always, as you saw, the Danny Green signed ball, a million things to give away. All the proceeds are going to the Eagles Autism Foundation. Vince Quinn, I'm very excited about that and what I'm about to tell you in about 25 minutes. So this is going to be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be great. We got a big broadcast that we're going to be doing there, so hanging out with the guys and getting to talk with them and just meet everybody and shake some hands. We're guest bartenders.
Yes.
Which I don't know how that's going to go for me.
Yeah, not well.
I can pour a beer. All right, I know how to pull the lever and pour a beer, so I could do that. You ask me for any mixed drink, you're getting a heavy pour.
Okay.
Like I can give you a whiskey ginger because it's very simple. I can give you a rum and Coke. You ask for anything else, I have no idea.
Taylor, what can you make behind the bar? Anything?
Ooh, I'm friends with a bunch of really good baristas. No, not baristas.
Oh,
mixologists.
Mixologists.
Ah, yes.
So
That's
I don't
the
do
fancy word for bartender, if you didn't know that.
Yeah, so I don't do any of that stuff. I usually have my friends handle that.
All right, so come to my side of the bar if
Yes.
you want a proper, whiskey drink or something like that. But it's, again, all for charity. Thanks to Top Tomato, E-Rock, and 4th and John for taking their time. I know there's going to be DJs and fun stuff there, too. Can't wait to see you there. And I can't wait to see this brand new defense, Vince Quinn. Vince Quinn was right the whole time. I was buying in, but I didn't think, much like probably you, that they would give a lot of power to Jonathan Gannon. But throughout this, since last Wednesday, it has been basically said, this team's a 3-4 defense.
Yeah.
It's happening between the Sirianni press conference, between Jordan Davis. We got to know a very healthy Nakobe Dean, which is very weird that the Eagles did, in fact, as the looks of it, snake the entire NFL and get a linebacker for them. Vince Quinn, what does this all mean? The front office is up and gone and moving, and everything has changed this offseason. What does it tell you?
Well, yeah, it tells you that, like you said, it's a 3-4 team, and this is the perfect time to make the switch, and maybe part of it's intentional. Think about this, right? For all the people that have been hired to all these different places, fine, no problem, not much you can do about that. If anything, it does make you look good. But the other side of the equation is you fired a couple of people. You did. You fired like 5 people, 7 people. You cleared out your scouting department. Why would you do that unless you're changing, right? And people might think, oh, well, they're scouts. They scout talent. That's what they do. But all right, I'm a blues guitarist. Maybe I'm not built for pop. You know what I mean? There's different elements. There's different approaches to the styles and what you scout and what's important to you and what you can notice that one guy with an intricate detail is better than another. So to change over from a 4-3 scouting staff to a 3-4 scouting staff potentially makes a lot of sense. If you're going to change it over in a world where everything is changing, if Fletcher Cox is probably gone after this year, Kelsey gone after this year, you might as well reset everything. You got the opportunity to do it.
And it looks like they're going to do that. I'm really curious how Brandon Graham kind of ends up in this. It's not like he hasn't done it before. Now it was when it looked like his career was on the outs with Chip Kelly and King and all that stuff, and they made him an outside linebacker. So I think there's a way to fit that in for a year, sure. I think Brandon Graham's at the point of his career where he's probably going to be, 1 or 2 downs and not every down. So I totally understand that. And to your point, the Eagles front office keeps moving. It keeps changing. Tom Donahue, who, by the way, we ripped Howie Roseman for getting upset in the draft room.
Not
Tom
getting the fist bump.
Kicking his legs over freaking Milton Williams and not feeling great about it, and he got the heave-ho. Andy Weidell's brother, Casey, was it?
Casey, yeah.
Got the heave-ho. So I don't know what that means in particular. I think it's weird that, and this is one thing I didn't consider. Maybe his brother's just a fucking asshole and doesn't want him around the building. That is very possible if Andy's still here.
Or he's not good,
He's
yeah.
just not good. But outside of that, I would say there's still an opportunity probably, maybe he ends up with the Steelers GM job, and that's already like going to make an announcement in June or July or whenever those things happen. And everyone nationally, and this is I'm so sorry. I'm here to dampen the mood just a little bit. But
wow, this is a change of pace. That's my job, John. Stealing my job.
I love the direction of everything that has happened this offseason. Right when AJ Brown was traded for. From that point on, I got it. The rest of the offseason made sense. But Peter Schrager, who's really good at doing this, made me mad again today, and is just creating this fan fiction with all of showing this Eagles front office as it's this large juggernaut of talent, and it has been since 2016, since Howie came out of the broom closet. And can I just try and find this and read this awful Peter Schrager fan fiction novel? Because
sure.
I feel as though if you close your eyes and I'm just going to read this in the most voiceover voice ever, but listen to this bullshit. The Eagles have become the gold standard in identifying, cultivating, and developing front office talent. Year after year, talented, bright minds go on to jobs elsewhere. The front office tree out of Philadelphia in recent years is beyond impressive. Sounds like a goddamn wine label.
It sounds like an episode of Planet Earth. Like, can we get that British guy to read that? That would be amazing.
Jeez.
Every year, the Philadelphia Eagles
Look
flock
at this.
to other franchises.
And then others blossom right in front of them, like they're just growing on trees. And everyone goes to the Philadelphia Eagles because Howie steals their idea. They know they can't be a general manager, and they know everybody wants to know what's going on inside the Philadelphia Eagles. I guess to a point, great, fantastic. Then why do I yell at them so much? Why do I fucking hate him all the time? Why do you hate him all the time? We're constantly yelling at this front office to do the right things. And I'm not saying they didn't this year. They absolutely did. But if they're so great at cultivating talent, why aren't they better at it?
What do you mean, why aren't they better at it?
Number one team in drafting, cap, trades. Like, if they are the gold standard of the league, where's the goddamn results?
Well, cap and trade. That's 2 out of 3. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. That's meatloaf, baby. That's meatloaf.
Howie Roseman since he's been the Philadelphia Eagles. We knew that already.
Okay, so that's great. So look, every year for 15 years, LeBron James could have won the MVP of the NBA. He didn't because people got bored of seeing it all the time. What else is new? What else is interesting?
What am I
Who else can we
One
support?
One Super Bowl, and I've got to kiss their ass?
Yeah,
No.
playoff appearances basically every year. The only times they haven't made it, they've been horrifically injured or the coaching staff kind of stunk after the Super Bowl.
When's the last time they felt like a contender in the playoffs?
Well, it's been a couple of years. Yeah, because they've been injured like crazy. And then they had the year with Wentz where he got concussed because Jadeveon Clowney threw a cheap shot in a playoff game and hit him in the back of the head. Could they have beaten Seattle? Would they feel like contenders then? Where's this whole arc if he doesn't get hit in that cheap shot? I have no idea. I mean, Wentz was a whole different man for that stretch. Those last 4 or 5 games of that season, it fell apart. So you had to rebuild, but they did it on the fly. They, again, more dead cap money than ever any team's ever had in the history of the NFL, and they made the playoffs with a second-round quarterback, and second-round quarterbacks generally, they suck. Let's be real. Like, Derek Carr is one of the few good second-round quarterbacks. Yeah. Andy Dalton for that stretch, as much as you didn't like him, I'm an Andy Dalton guy, if you will. We both have red hair. It's fine.
Exactly.
For what he is as a second-rounder, especially early in Cincy, he was fine. But second-round quarterbacks don't turn into anything. In the scale of second-round quarterbacks, Jalen Hurts is pretty damn good.
An Andy Dalton guy, but he just said he's fine.
Ultimately, he's fine. Yeah, he was a good game manager.
That's the ringing endorsement.
Yeah, he was a good game manager. It's fine. You know, he's fine. Yeah. They had a good defense and everything was fine. Go back and Google the Bengals in 2012. Anyway, looking at where they are to transition the way that they have, we're now, like, we were talking about the offensive core and what is it? This team is built offensively for the next 5 years, 7 years.
Yep.
Left tackle, right tackle, guard, center, backup center right now. You got a couple of running backs that you like. Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert. That's a core for at least 5 years. That's a team.
It is. It's a team that has potential, that can do all those things. It's corrected itself. But when I think of a gold standard and when I think of, like, this is the team that represents in terms of all of that, you never do a deal with Howie Roseman. Done. Got it. Understood it since the beginning of time. Where is the Dallas Cowboys, like, 4 years in a row of drafting? Maybe that's what we're going through right now. Who knows? If this class plus last class ends up hitting, I probably got to change my tune a little bit and say, I guess they are.
Well, but who goes through that in general anymore? Like, who's the gold standard of anything right now? Nobody wins like that outside of the Patriots, which we saw, which, again, Brady took less money than anybody else, and it's the biggest advantage in the history of football, and they don't count. So there is nobody else like them. It changes every year. Parity of the league is completely insane. The Rams are the team right now, and they've won one. So they got to another. They won one. And who knows what they're going to do? They spent all this money again. They might be cap broke in 2 years. It might not affect them because the whole thing balloons. Otherwise, the Baltimore Ravens, they've been a gold standard, right?
I would say
won one.
they're more gold standard of the league than everybody else. But again, every fan loves pretty much every player that they draft. So I don't know if that's good or not.
Yeah, but Steelers also, same division, gold standard, never a losing season with Mike Tomlin, right? Like, is that the gold standard? They had one Super Bowl. With Mike Tomlin, it's one. So, yes, like as a front office, yes, this is the gold standard. In terms of the other teams that are the best in the league at what they do, he's right at that level. Every single year he changes coaches, he changes quarterbacks. Now they're changing systems, and you still think they're going to make the playoffs.
Well, I just don't think, but in that, the Steelers also dominated a division for that time for the most part. I mean, like, the Eagles have not been able to do that since Andy Reid. So forgive me for not, like, I think they've done great things, and I think they're always on that second tier. They're probably ahead a lot of whatever the new scouting is, to your point. Maybe there isn't a such thing as a dynasty in football anymore. Maybe it's all just fucking 3-year windows and that's it. You know, the QB carousel that keeps going on, they've adapted that, I think, better than anybody. So I'm not trying to put them down. When people say that, it irks the hell out of me. Like, it's you can smell I want more information from you, Howie, so I'm presenting it to you in this way.
Who said gold standard first?
It happened a long time ago. Jeffrey Lurie did it.
He said it a long time
with
ago.
Andy.
I think it was the Andy era. He called them the gold standard.
And then we stunk after that.
Yeah, and then the Dream Team happened,
and
then there was Muck,
Chip
and
Kelly happened, and
so this is a cursed term then.
It is. Oh, people look at it, and if you bring it up like that, people go, "Oh yeah," like yeah, oh yeah.
I think it's negative.
It's a clouded term now, but for what Lurie said and what they've been really long term in this 20-year period, gold standard.
Yeah, since he's been around, we can absolutely say that. I would say that as an owner, yes.
2 Super Bowl appearances, 1 win in the last 20 years. What, 5, 6 NFC Championship games? They've gone to at least the second round of the playoffs. What, 10 times in 20 years? 7 times in 20 years? Somewhere in that range. I mean, that's gold standard football.
Yeah,
it just is.
I guess that's fair. I just don't see where maybe we're just in the middle of it. I don't see the world resounding results of having the best, the gold standard of front office people. If you want to say that, like, is Joe Douglas a part of that? I don't think so.
Right now, no.
Is Andrew Barry really a part of that? I don't think so. I mean, there was a 1-year term where he came by and there was nothing going on. You're like, oh, I learned what the Eagles are doing. That'll help me get this job now. You know, like, I get it from that perspective. I do think you're going to steal other people's ideas a lot of the time, the more talent you cultivate through here. And then, just like Bill Belichick and everybody else, and here's why I'll give Howie credit, he knows exactly when to get rid of you. And I don't think that has there been a large mistake coming out of the front office ever? Have they missed out on their next general manager leaving?
Oh,
I can't remember a name that's been like, should have held on to him. Joe Douglas was the first initiation of that, and so far,
yeah.
I mean, it's for
now.
Had a
it's
great draft this year, fantastic. But he also had 3 years to sit back and hang out and play with picks for a while.
And as
they've
built this thing, Mekhi Becton was a big pick for them, and he's just now he's just big. So it's messy.
Well, tell me, what do you think? 215-509-5833. Feel free to jump into the Discord as well. I just don't really see this. I see really good decision making.
Real quick, Vince Quinn just started a workout morning routine, and now I think he can fat shame anybody that he wants.
Damn right, I'm down 8 pounds, baby. I'm down 8 pounds. I look great. I'm running a couple miles a day. I'm starting to lift now. In addition to the running.
Zion Williamson, James Harden, probably.
Anybody else?
I haven't said anything about James Harden. That's a beautiful man. All right, he's in perfect shape. Everything's fine with James. But the other 3, I'm just saying it. Yeah,
watching you.
So there's a lot to watch. Now, well, here's the other part with the front office too.
Yeah.
When Howie first took over the job, Not a popular guy, not a football guy. I've heard that argument for my lifetime. As long as he's been the GM, people still say that to this day, which is patently ridiculous because who the hell are you?
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, I know more than Howard Roseman. He's not a football guy. All right, did you work in a front office for 20 years? Have you won a Super Bowl? Like, have you hired and fired multiple coaches? No, he's a football guy. He's worked in the industry now for at least 20 years. Like, shut up. But so he's got that baggage to him, and people love to hit on the misses. So it's going to come up now, Carson Wentz. Oh, he's a failure, and Andre Dillard, and what a mess that's been. Dillard, he's recovered. I mean, it's just Jordan Mailata is a god. Like if Jordan Mailata wasn't that
him,
good,
by the way, yeah,
it isn't Andre Dillard a starter in half the teams across the league?
No.
Right tackle, left tackle, somewhere. You don't think he's starting
starter
on enough
for the
teams?
He's the starter for bad teams that have O-line problems, but he's not a starter.
Well, that's like half the league, though.
Yeah.
He's going to start on at least 10 to 12 teams. You know, like he's a decent player for a first-round pick. He just didn't become the guy, and he's useless here now. He's luxury depth. So his hits are pretty good, and when he misses, it is notable. The Alshon contract the last couple of years, terrible. I mean, terrible, but he got rid of Alshon, and with all that dead money, they still made the playoffs. So it's like his ability, he swings big, and when he misses, it's ugly. But when he rebounds, he does it very quickly and efficiently, and that's really impressive and almost impossible to do.
That is,
you know.
yeah.
So it's just, I think it is one of the best front offices. He is one of the best front office people. It's just the personality is not very popular, you know? He's like, hey, how you doing over there? You know, like people just don't like that about him. So he's ripping on reporters and all. People kind of like that about him. And he's a complicated figure, but ultimately the guy's great.
Well, and here's my other thing. If these people are so great, why aren't you holding on to them? Oh, you just can't do that? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. And if it comes down to like the power aspect and whatever, then yeah, you're never going to be above Howie Roseman. So yes, the Eagles are a perfect place to do all that stuff. It's built into the program, essentially. So, like, should we be giving them credit for that? Or is that just being like, nope, I'm Howie Roseman. I'm going to be here. I will have final say. I'm a little more collaborative than my perception believes to be. But, you know, Louis Riddick still thinks I'm a piece of shit. Like, I don't know where it
and maybe he is, but he makes a great football team. He's the least trusted GM in football. Remember that a couple of months ago? He was like before the season, they ran that poll. So fine, that's okay. But think about this. He is teaching people constantly what he's doing. It works because the team generally has been good, and these people do get the jobs. I mean, he's teaching something impressive, and to do that again and again and again with all these different people, he's got something right. Like, how many times have we talked about, remember Tom Brady as a GM, just for fun with all the Dolphins stuff?
Yeah.
Like, can he teach anybody? Maybe not. Maybe he's just so singularly great as a player. He has all this work ethic. Nobody can match him. He's just one of a kind. Michael Jordan sucked at it. Larry Bird sucks at it. So you have those arguments. Howie, with this, has been able to produce other people that at least get the job. At some point, he's won like Belichick with all the coaches where they haven't panned out on that level, but can he get that guy that transcends and breaks through? Maybe. And when he does, how does that change the conversation? It just feels like it's a matter of time.
And there's still going to be some more announcements, obviously, over the next couple of weeks because, man, they really did clean house, and they lost 4 people this year alone. So there's a lot of spots to fill, and one of the interesting names that I've seen pop up, and I don't know if you've seen this, Vince, is Jim Nagy from the Senior Bowl, the guy that has been running the Senior Bowl for a long time. Very good relationship with Howie Roseman, and adamantly, I know as a guest on the radio, would always say the same things on Howie needing a strong, personnel guy, and Nagy kind of fits that. He's also very good friends with Howie. They've worked before in the past. It's very Daniel Jeremiah. When that came up, and I know that was one of the first names as soon as Chip left, that he wanted Daniel Jeremiah as the kind of like their left and right-hand man. Something I made fun of at the time because I was like, a TV guy, really? And then now there's John Lynch running the 49ers a couple of years later after that. So it's not as far-fetched. Mike Mayock's probably another one that his name will be brought up, although I find it very unlikely he's taking a front office job anytime soon and would like to go back to TV.
Well, after that Raiders hellhole experience that he had. And did you see there's another scandal with the Raiders?
Oh, because they shifted out presidents again.
Yeah, they fired their
year.
team president, and they were saying,
the guy that
it's
took
interim.
over for the douchebag.
Yes.
2 presidents in a row.
So they brought in this guy, and there's all sorts of like accusations from the team president about like workplace culture and all this stuff. That's the reporting right now. And then what do you know? Mark Davis fires the guy. So
we have no comment at this time. Like,
Yeah.
somebody did something bad.
Yeah, this guy just got the job or just got put in the interim. He's been there for 18 years, and now suddenly, poof, he's gone. So, yeah, good luck, Raiders. What a mess.
And I'm not saying that I want to switch places with any other front office in the league. I love it just what it is. I'm just saying, man, they really shine it on when things are great. And they deserve to take the lap. It's just like, really, really thick.
Well,
really thick.
It is. It is weird, though, because we're talking about one of the most consistent franchises we've ever seen in terms of approach. What is it? West Coast offense, that Jim Johnson, undersized pass rusher, high motor, baby. Like, they've been doing that for 20 years. So they have the same sound consistently, and then they put out a new album, and you're like, holy shit, this is totally different. What's going on here? I don't even know if I like this. This is what I expected from this band.
Well,
you know?
And I want to get more into that because, like, I've got another thing I want to get into about the defense, the linebackers, where all this is kind of heading. But we, my friends, have a major announcement. Finally, we've been working on this thing with another Vince, if you can believe that. That's when we know we're in good company here. But as of today, ladies and gentlemen, we have given away the hints if you've been watching on YouTube, so you better be subscribing there. Vince Quinn's been wearing the shirt the entire time, and I'm about to don it as well. Ladies and gentlemen, we are officially a part of the Philly Sports Trips family, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's go!
We are riding high, and that means that you can join us this season at every single away game. That is what we're doing this year. We are partnering up with PhillySportsTrips.com, and we are flying to Houston. Houston.
Yes.
Detroit.
Chicago,
Phoenix.
Indianapolis.
We're taking a bus to Washington for sure to go say hi to Carson.
That's going to be so good.
New
It's
York.
gonna be so good.
That's good. That
New
trip's going
York.
to be amazing going to Washington.
John will finally be home in New York.
Yes.
You son of a bitch. But not only that, we are having a massive, for the first year in a row with them, and it's the second year for them, we are moving the tailgate, and we will be at the Gatehouse at the Navy Yard, which is literal a 10-minute walk to Lincoln Financial Field with lots of booze, food, bands, just humongous atmosphere at the Navy Yard where we hope to have some flag football going, a lot of different vendors. So we've got a ton happening this season, and what you can do right now to ensure that you are on one of these trips, and if you haven't even decided yet, that's okay. We're going to all of them. So let's start thinking where we want to go. Jump into the Discord, text us 215-509-5833. Where do you want to go this season? Head to PhillySportsTrips.com. They are taking deposits right now. So if you have $299 this moment, you can reserve your seat to wherever you want to go. And the best part about Philly Sports Trips is not only do they take care of everything, you feel taken care of the entire time you're on the trip. And we're going to make sure that you get taken care of extra while we're there too, because we've got some things we want to do VIP style. But man, oh man, I have never dealt with a company that you just hand over their money, the flight, the hotel, everything is booked, and like the food is unbelievably outstanding for the tailgates and everything that they have surrounding it. Special guests. When they went to Vegas this year, they had John Durenboss do a private magic show in front of like 300 people. They are constantly thinking of fun things to do. Because the game and the experience itself, you know that. Being around Eagles fans is amazing, but those little extras to just, do all that. We're going to help them with gift baskets this year. So if you are traveling with us, you're going to get some cool shit from Liquid Death, awesome sauce, and a couple other booze brands that are just need to write another check or two, and we'll be on point. But this year is going to be so much fucking fun. Come travel with us in PhillySportsTrips.com. Vince, thank you. Can't wait, man. We cannot wait to get started.
Yeah, you're welcome, John. No, shout out to Vince, man. This is so awesome. And for him to put together a trip like this, of this quality, do it for every single city, whether it's the day trip with the buses to New York and Washington, or going out to Arizona and all the fun things we'll do. Just like thinking about all these places that I haven't been to, So to be able to do that, go with a large group of people, sit in the stadium with a large group of Eagles fans in another city and cheer on the Birds is just going to be, it's the dream. It's the dream. I've never been able to do it quite like this, so I'm so excited. I'm so excited to meet people. We'll be doing some live stuff in certain cities, or all the cities. We're going to be doing some live stuff and hanging out, and so it's just like there's going to be so much fun. There's going to be so much food. We're going to have fun drinks. We're going to be doing all this stuff. So yeah, if you want to hang out and watch this season, where honestly I'm getting excited about.
Oh
this
man,
team.
me too.
I'm getting really excited about this team. PhillySportsTrips.com. That's where you got to go, and we are so pumped.
It all ties together because this Thursday, as we said, when we're going to be at Top Tomato, we are giving away another trip to any away game. To the Washington game. I want to make sure I said that right.
There we go.
To the Washington game, which more than likely Vince Quinn. I know we got to talk about it, but let's talk about it right now.
Okay.
We know the home opener is on Monday Night Football against the Minnesota Vikings. That came out, was announced from the Eagles. Real quick, are you pumped about a Monday Night opener? I'm fucking ecstatic.
Yes, it's going to be awesome. I hope they wear black. It would be so great.
Secondly, I was just talking to Vince from Philly Sports Trips today. Is there any doubt in your mind that you do not open against the Washington Commanders week 1? That just has it written all over it that that's going to happen. You get that feeling?
Oh, 100%. They've done this so many times already. They love to open the season with Washington. It's happened so many times. Do it again. Please. This is the year.
Jalen
This
versus
is the year.
Carson in week 1. If you're going on one trip, and this is my promise to you, if it's not that, save it for that one. Take the $2.99, go to Philly Sports Trips right now, book it for Washington, because I don't know how everyone feels. Are we done with Carson? It's not everybody. Shout out to Ben, shout out to Greg, who are kind of still like, hey, I'm over the Carson thing. I'm fucking not. Am I supposed to be over this?
No.
I'm not over this. I want to yell at him for at least a year because that's what he gets, right? It's my beef. He's leaving it like he did. I can't. If that's week 1, I'm going to get so pumped up for like the next 3 or 4 weeks. I can't wait to yell at Carson Wentz.
Yeah, it's
week
going to be
1.
so much fun. And Vince has told us already. He's like, yeah, hundreds and hundreds of people go on these trips when we're going to Washington and places like that. So it is going to be packed because let's be real, Washington doesn't sell tickets. So we
to take over a stadium, it'd be great.
We're going to totally take it over.
Also, Vince Quinn thinks that we can get away with suing Dan Snyder this time because if we break a rail or just like undo a screw, then the whole stadium can sue this time, right?
Yeah, that's the plan. All right, don't hold us to that. Let's cover our asses. But yes, I would love
don't
to,
actually do that.
I would love to trash Dan Snyder though as a family. I think we should do that as a family. We should trash Dan Snyder.
Opening weekend and Carson getting yelled at in his own stadium just sounds so much fun.
It's so good.
So thank you again to PhillySportsTrips.com. It's going to be an awesome year. We're so excited. Thank you. And again, Thursday at Top Tomato, we're giving away another one of those trips as well. So that being said, sir.
One last
note,
John. For people that are in the Discord, we have a special announcement to go with all of this, but you have to be in the Discord for it. So join the Discord.
Here's a tease. It's a major project for the year. It has everything to do with going around town the whole entire season. I promise you will love it. I promise you will love it. And it's also a secret at the same time. So you got to be in the Discord like Vince said.
Yep, bellandthebirdmen.com if you want to join.
Lots of changes throughout this year. We're changing every single day. The Eagles are changing every single day. So here's one thing I can't get over with the defense. Everyone's yelling for James Bradbury.
Yep.
Some people are saying the Eagles aren't exactly like running to it. Every team feels like they should be interested in him. He's a great CB2. It would change your mind in a second. And they've been really slow with that second safety still hanging out. Lots of different DBs that they signed, UDFAs, all that. Aren't in CB2, really, like a desperate post-draft, like you have nobody starting here. What does that tell you right now in your mind? If you're just like, they're okay with whoever they get, or has this defense, to your point, taken another big leap towards linebackers and we just don't realize it?
Well, that's what it looks like, which is why when you're thinking about how the draft has changed out, because obviously I was goddamn pissed about Kyle Hamilton not being the guy. I don't know if you heard.
Remember that.
His name's Kyle Hamilton. He's a safety, played for Notre Dame. He's pretty fucking good.
Okay.
So Kyle Hamilton, they don't go with him. They go with Jordan Davis. And I'm pissed about that in the moment. But also, as we've talked about it, and I've sort of decompressed on this whole thing, it's okay, they're going to a 3-4. And what they've decided is Jordan Davis is the centerpiece of this new defense that they're starting to build. Now it makes a little bit more sense to me, right?
Yep.
So when you're changing the scheme, he's not going to be a gap-pushing defensive pass rusher, at that spot. They're going to play the 3-4. He's going to do it occasionally, but that's not who he's supposed to be. So, fine. This is the cornerstone now. This is your new guy. Kyle Hamilton's not that guy. You're not going to build the defense around a safety. Now I get it a little bit more, but you still don't have a secondary. So what's going on? Well, you look at the offseason. What have they done? Kaiser White, they go and sign him.
Yep.
They go and get N'Kobe Dean.
Has anybody watched his tape yet, by the way? Have you done that yet?
There's
No?
not a lot out there. There's I've watched it, but there's not a whole lot out there.
I'm going to be so right about that.
He's like
he's going to be cut in fucking August.
He's a fringe
You just wait.
linebacker.
Yeah.
That's peak Eagles, by the
Peak
way.
Eagles.
For a guy, Corey Nelson, LJ Fort, all those guys that didn't pan out here. So he could very well be that guy. But Kaiser White, N'Kobe Dean, Kyron Johnson. Then you've already got T.J. Edwards, who played well last year.
Sean Bradley plays pretty decently as well.
And we still have no idea what Davion Taylor is. So
He's your favorite football player of all time. What are you talking about?
He's got potential, damn it. So I believe in the guy. But looking at all these guys, that's a lot of linebackers for this team now. It's a lot of investment in this offseason when they don't have anybody in the secondary.
And they didn't value them at any point in time before that date.
No. So, is this a fundamental change? Like, is this finally a time where the Eagles do care about linebacker? I don't know. This offseason tends to point that they do. Because if also Hassan Reddick, as much as he's a pass rusher, if he's listed as a linebacker when they announced the signing, which is what the Eagles did, then you think maybe they do see this guy. He is going to pass rush primarily, but he's going to line up as a linebacker in a 3-4. It is a little different. Brandon Graham, which you touched on a little earlier, is he a linebacker in a 3-4 now? And he's going to edge rush like that, standing up. It looks like that's where things are heading. So this team is changing, and the values of the positions changes with it. Defensive line is the same. It's a different style of play, but they still value that spot. Linebacker looks like it's more important. They want to reshape that whole core, and then they'll get to the secondary. So secondary's third in the pecking order now.
Well, here's what I'm going to say. I think everyone already is dismissing Darius Slay like he doesn't exist. That's one part of it. I think that's very significant.
No, I think you're wrong.
Two, if they're going so heavy on linebackers, which you have pointed out from the beginning, and I apologize for even doubting you, and I'm so sorry, Vince Quinn.
Hold on to that, Taylor.
That's probably one a year. We'll have those. But I'm not saying a linebacker is going to go play CB2, but if you're going to go into what we were told, Jonathan Gannon's a big fan of zone behind. So if he's a big fan of zone behind, 8 attacking, 7 attacking, 6 attacking, whatever it ends up being, then maybe CB2 isn't as important when you have Darius Slay and you can just kick that down the road next year. So if it ends up being my boy Tay Gowan and, Avonte Maddox and all that other stuff that are just hanging out there playing zone coverage, Epps, McPherson, I think that's okay because you're gonna do a lot of 3-3-5 looks in what Vince just said. You're gonna have Hassan Reddick stacked up behind Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham. I don't know. I would assume that they're gonna you can do anything that can end up being 5-2, 3-3-5. 4-3, 3-4. There's so many other different variants you can do from Reddick, all the other linebackers that they have. I don't think they value CB2 as much from whatever they're cooking up this year. I don't know what it is, but it seems as though I think they're going to push zone and just attack the quarterback 70% of the time, 80% of the time. Something ridiculous. The thing that we've asked for. Attack, 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 attack. I think that's all Jonathan Gannon's going to do. Keep everybody in front of you, attack, let it fall in the middle. It's going to scrunch up anyway.
If he's going to do that, it's really funny to think about how much he must have hated last year's defense then.
Hated it.
He must have hated it because he was sitting there. He didn't do anything last year. We're like, Gannon, please send some linebackers for the love of God. What does it take? And it's just like, nope, here's Alex Singleton. He's dropping back. He's hanging tight. He's reading the room. He gives up 7 yards. He makes the tackle. It's like, God, why are we doing this every week? So, yeah, maybe he hated the defense when he was talking about multiple last year when they first brought him in. He's like, we want to play everything, basically. This is starting to look a little more that way. So all the flexibility is starting to feel real. But the problem is if they don't value the second quarter right now, they're gonna fucking value it after the season.
Or value as somebody at a second corner that we don't know about. Yeah.
Week 6, we're all going to be like, why didn't they get James Bradbury? Because they're going to get torched for 250 yards on that side of the field alone because there's nobody in the secondary behind Slay. Every game plan is going to be, all right, where is Darius Slay? We're going to throw it literally anywhere else. And they're going to get 12 yards a play.
Well, if you just say, Darius, you're playing man, everyone else plays zone, like you're shadowing this dude, everyone else plays zone. That makes sense to me. That's okay.
If that's what you have to do to get by, but still, if these guys, I don't trust these guys to play zone. We've got Tay and
Why?
Kay and Zach. Who are they?
Well, yeah, but
It's zoned. It's just a simple rule you follow.
It's supposed to be, but
This
all
is
these
your
guys.
area.
Oh, God,
Don't
here
leave.
we go.
There's 12 undrafted rookies from last year, now 5 from this year competing for a job. Like it's who are these people?
I bet they know how to play zone.
Well, they might know how to play, but can they play it? I mean, like I don't know. You could tell me how to play piano, but my hands fucking suck. Can I learn it? I don't know. I hope. I would love to play piano someday. But it's just one of those things where it's like you can know, knowing and doing and teaching are different. So it's different.
If I'm gonna surmise and guess what Gannon's doing, I'm just gonna have my firepower up front, and I'm gonna deal with that later because I know I've got an elite corner here. So this guy needs 0.5 seconds. Great. Here's Hassan Reddick and a bunch of linebackers. Like I want to make you throw into this odd window that is easier for them, and Darius can take care of business. Now I'm not saying that's good, and I still want James Bradbury here. I think everybody does, and you'd be an idiot not wanting that person here. Percentage feel that he's actually here, Vince Quinn.
Oh, God, yeah. All the stuff that says he's connected to the Eagles. I've heard that so many times with every player, and I want to believe it, but I don't know. 20%.
I was going to put it a little higher.
Because I looked at salary cap for the league when it was getting close, like maybe he's going to get released. There's a lot of teams that are contenders with a lot of money right now. So if you're buying him for a year, like I think Kansas City, for example, could just be like, yep, come on in, James. I would go to Kansas City in a heartbeat. So
I would too.
I don't know.
Yeah. I'd put it like 35%.
Okay. But yeah,
I would give him
land him.
I would give him $13 million and just make it a dummy 3-year contract. It's fine. You want the 13, it's spread out over 2 years. You get the signing bonus up front, and that's it.
That'd be fine with me. Whatever you got to do to get him in the door, because I just don't trust any of these guys. Like, it's what was the horse that won the Kentucky Derby the other day?
It sounded like a bowler's name.
Something
Rich
Strike?
Strike, right? Rich Strike.
There's too much sports this weekend. I don't
Way
even
too
know.
many.
Yeah,
sports.
Rich Strike. Every Eagles corner is Rich Strike. Like they're all 80-1 odds, and we're just hoping that horse comes around the corner, baby.
They're processed Sixers.
Yes, it is. It's so processed Sixers in the secondary. All right,
well, Tay Gowan is my
Tony Roten.
Ersan Ilyasova. There you go.
There you go.
We know he works and like he'll do his thing. We know he's not the best player in the world. Yeah, it seems to work out great.
He's going to get knocked over a lot, like her son.
Yeah.
But here's what I will say. If I'm trying to mitigate some of this and go, all right, well, how do you work around that? One, sending everybody all the time and just making it so every quarterback's like, and just like it has to chuck it constantly. That can work. But the other part is I was looking through, I saw this graphic earlier today. This is amazing. It was about the strength of schedule. And I want to pull up the exact graphic on this because I was absolutely shocked when I saw what was going on here. All right.
How accurate is this usually, though?
So, strength of schedule is in terms of how much it actually plays into the next season. Because strength of schedule is based on the wins percentages of the previous year of all your opponents.
I'm saying how often is it true because it feels like it's kind of a stretch.
So I would say actually it's mostly true, and these things come out after the draft anyway. So it's still a guess and projection, but.
And we'll be picking the team. I mean, the schedule's getting announced in the next week.
Thursday's turning into a schedule release party.
Yeah, which is why we're so excited to be. Oh my God, this Philly Sports Strip stuff is going to be amazing. But strength of schedule. All right. So 29th strength of schedule in terms of they have the 29th weakest schedule in the NFL. Do you know who that is?
Who has the 29th weakest? I would say the Lions.
Okay, they're 28. Okay. 29 is your New York Giants. 30 is the Eagles. 31 is Washington. 32 is Dallas.
So the NFC East is at the bottom.
The entire NFC East is the easiest schedule in the entire league. All 4 teams in a row. which tells you, well, I mean, you look at the divisions they're playing. What do they have this year? The NFC North. Okay, so you're talking about like the Vikings, the Bears, the Lions, the Packers. You got one really tough game in that stretch. It's not bad. AFC South, the Texans, the Jaguars. Like, there's winnable games there, and then the NFC East is just not that good.
So you're saying that the Eagles have a quarterback on a rookie contract.
Yep.
They just traded for one of the best wide receivers in the league.
Yep.
Have one of the best offensive lines in the league.
Yep.
Are a corner away from having a pretty good damn defense.
And a safety.
And what does this sound like to you? 2017? Sounds like it to me.
I mean,
at least the parameters of what you need to go win a Super Bowl, it's there. An easy schedule, a rookie that no one really believes in at QB, other than this fella right here. But I mean, they're set up pretty goddamn well to make a run.
No, they are set up, which is why talking about the division. Can they
Okay,
win
the front office is really great. It's the gold standard.
See?
Okay,
Yes,
okay,
he's around.
okay.
Yeah, welcome, John. Welcome to the team. Yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt
It's
you.
good
Go
to
ahead.
see.
Yeah,
It's good to see. I'm gonna get you a signed Howie Roseman poster one day. that is my dream now. To
I'll
get
kiss it. You win me another Super Bowl, I'll do that.
There we
kiss
go.
it.
So I'll get you a signed Howie poster, and then my other dream is Julian Lurie on the show. We're gonna accomplish both those things. Julian, call us. You can come with us on the trips to any of the games. I mean,
Yes.
he's probably getting a free ticket anyway. But if he wants to come with us on
I
any
don't know.
of
His
the trips,
dad's a stickler when
yes,
it comes to that
Julian
stuff.
Lurie.
You
are
learned this
welcome.
business the right way that I had to pay my own way.
That's right.
God dang it.
So
Anyway, here's the private jet.
join us. So yeah, but looking at the strength of schedule, okay, can the secondary suck? Yes, but if the schedule's bad and they can put up some points, and like we talked about maybe a week or two ago, was can they win a foot race? If they can do that, then this team's in a pretty good position. And can it go from I think they can win one playoff game? Could it go to 2, 3, maybe? Like easy schedule, potential high seed. Are you getting a home game? Like thinking about the big picture here, seeing that strength of schedule was like, oh, this is actually even better than I thought.
Yeah, and you know, if Vince gets his wish, they end up trading for like Bates or somebody like that. Who I know, Chef Scott wants to. I mean, the Bengals safety situation is just as weird as the Ravens one. If we're being honest with you, there's too many people. There's young players there, so I think that could change a lot of people's minds as well. Here's another one, and by the way, this is another reason why I want you to join the Discord is because like we have such a great community in there, and they ask fantastic questions. This one coming from Eastside Emil, and they have an easy strength of schedule. They've built around Jalen Hurts. They have tangibly helped him this offseason. He's been the most. Get this. This is coming from Max Meyer. The player with the most tickets to win MVP in the last month and a half has been Jalen Hurts. And now the odds have been, I don't know if you know this, T, or not. I think it was, at some point, it was like 8,000. And now it's gone down to plus 2,500, plus 3,500, somewhere around there. So, like, a pretty significant chunk. I don't take any umbrage into that other than gamblers are getting good odds to take a bet on a team that's an up-and-coming thing. I get that. So what would it take for Jalen Hurts to win MVP in your mind? You can do stat lines, you can do wins, but like, what is Jalen Hurts in the conversation for you?
Yeah, for me, that looks like somewhere in the ballpark of 11, 12 wins is what you're looking at. You're also talking probably 35 to 40 touchdowns total.
Yep.
So that can be
Somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, that could be 28 passing, 10 rushing. Whatever that's going to be. You get somewhere in that ballpark, low enough with the turnovers, 7, 8 turnovers, and 3,500 to 4,000 yards. You're cooking. That's an MVP.
T, what was it beforehand?
4,000.
Ah.
And that is the same odds as Derek Carr, Deebo Samuel, and Trey Lance.
Gotcha. So he's in the, if a running back goes off or one of the two. Well, Trey Lance, I put money on Trey Lance too, honestly. But I don't think you're that far off. It's probably got to be more than that. It's probably got to be like 50 touchdowns total in some of it. The majority of them have to be passing touchdowns. I just think he's such an elite runner, and for the next couple of years that's going to hurt him in this race a little bit. But
I don't know. Lamar won MVP not that long ago.
That's true too. It would have to be a Lamar-like season. For sure, just in his own way, and I think that's very possible. I think him being in the conversation shouldn't be snuffed at in the offseason, maybe from you because you don't really like him that much.
I wouldn't.
Do you think
I
he
wouldn't
has,
place that bet. I get it.
yeah,
I wouldn't
realistically,
place
would
it.
you place any bet on Jalen Hurts winning an MVP this year?
No.
Taylor?
Absolutely not. I hate like really weird long shot ones, especially with something
Yeah.
that you're that unsure of. Like, might as well just put your money on fire.
Yeah, and part of it's Sirianni. I
Yeah.
have no faith and total like I don't have that with Sirianni. He's totally been on the back burner, I think, on everybody's mind this year, but I still don't fully believe in him.
Yeah.
If you really believe in the Eagles, I would take like a over exaggerated total wins over like 10 or
Yeah.
11.
Yeah. That's it.
That seems like a way smarter bet
for
to me.
sure.
I think so too. Does Jalen have to become anywhere close to that for his doubters to kind of go away in the city, essentially? Or do you think they just have to go to divisional NFC championship game and whatever?
Yeah,
Who cares about the stats?
if
after
they
that?
do what they did last year, but he's an actual passing quarterback enough, yeah, I think he can stick around. Like his ceiling has to be if he's in that anywhere in the range of like Ryan Tannehill to Derek Carr. You know what I mean? Like if you can slot him anywhere in that ability, then I can ride with Jalen Hurts because it is about value, the contract, what's he going to get paid versus the other guys, how much you save, how you can build around that to mitigate him. Plus, you can put more into a backup, which you need. So, like, or Carson Strong is going to be the truth. So, all those things come together, and you can build that way. So, yes, if he can show himself to be a mid-tier, mid-contract quarterback, I can buy Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, Eagles are going on a run, guys. You either want to get on board or you don't. Like that's what I feel that way. No matter if Jalen Hurts is a part of the MVP conversation, it's a bad schedule. Most of the teams didn't get good around them except for the New York Giants, and Washington and Dallas. I don't think are a factor in the division when it's all said and done. Dallas has not made the playoffs, won a playoff game since I can remember. Even though I think Dak has one under his belt, and it's probably it's the stupidest one. I can't even remember the win. That's how bad
I don't
it is.
either.
So, like, man, we might have our differences in terms of like calling what this front office exactly is, but they have assembled one hell of a football team this year. I hope that you can be with every single trip that we're on by going to phillysportstrips.com and letting them know that you're going with Bell and the Birdmen. Make your reservations now. Things sell out rather quickly, especially when that schedule release comes out. Maybe Chicago's the opener and like, oh shit, a bunch of people want to go to Chicago in September and all that fun stuff. So we're so excited. We're going to fix our light because Philly Sports
I don't know what's happening.
It's got a mind of its own. But I'm very excited, fellas. Any final words before we leave here?
Yeah, John, one last thing I want to get into. Ray Didinger retired.
How about that?
I mean, that's crazy.
The sweetest man in Philly sports media.
It's not even close. Not
Yeah.
even close. Ray's like the sweetest guy in the world. We were both lucky enough to do some stuff with him, and he got mad. He got mad at you.
Yeah.
didn't he?
So all right. So here's what happened. I annoyed Ray Didinger greatly once. So what happened was
Good job, by the way.
Yeah.
Like
one of
a-
1 million that could possibly do it.
In the
feat,
most-
a very hard feat.
It was in the most me way possible and in the most Ray way possible, I think, is how you can phrase this. So here's what's happening. I'm a remote producer at WIP. Him and Glenn were doing the show at Delaware Casino every single Saturday.
Yes.
So I was the guy that was managing the show on location. I would build the whole thing, set it up for the guys if they needed notes on certain stuff, live reads, whatever. I would help them coordinate everything. So I'm there one day. Shortly after the draft, the Eagles had just gotten Jordan Mailata, right?
Yes.
So we're talking a little bit during a commercial break, and I mentioned to Ray, I'm like, they should let him carry the ball a couple of times. And he was like, what? And I was like, he's a rugby player. The guy's, he's played rugby. He's held the ball. If he's a project as an offensive lineman, then they should give him the ball for a year. It's a smaller ball. He can grip it just fine, and give him a goal line carrier too. And Ray was like, I don't see that at all. You know what I mean? It was just like, he thought it was the most ludicrous, insane person thing. He was like disgusted at the notion that I could suggest an offensive lineman carrying the ball. And I was like,
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard, Vince.
yep, that was pretty much it. In his way of saying it, it was just like, you're a complete idiot. And I was like, wow, I've kind of upset Ray Didinger. Look at me go.
My favorite race story is we were doing a shout out to John Gentile to this day. Somehow got us into the draft as a podcast. And that was one of the coolest experiences ever. And then doing WIP radio that entire weekend, along with Ray and Glenn and Ray right next to us. And like Mac Hollins gets drafted as we're transitioning out and they're ending their show and we're just about to start up. And like in the most non-characteristic Ray on the radio you would ever hear, Ray just deadpans to us and be like, special teamer, 4th round. You got to be bleeping kidding me.
I believe that's Roy. That's not Ray. That's Roy.
That Roy comes out. That's right. But man, that was the funniest thing ever. It was just like being on the same page with Ray Didinger in this massive moment and be like, yep, when they mentioned special teams first, it's probably not a good pick for Mac Hollins. And then went on for 5 minutes. Ray is, you already know it. I mean, but everything that is said about Ray is the same that goes for Bo Jackson. If it's said about him, it's probably true. And like all of his stories, from him seeing Muhammad Ali in an interview, I could hear him tell that story a million times over. Those are some of my favorite memories. He's a playwright. He's a historian. He's a guy that keeps notes in his legal pad for as long as I've known him.
That's my favorite part, the
Me
yellow
too.
legal pad wherever he goes.
Yep.
Yeah, and like I was freaking out the first time I ever did Philly Sports Talk Live. That was like that was a Philadelphia institution over at Comcast, and I got pegged to do a show with them, and I thought I was the fucking coolest person on earth. And I'm breaking down the draft with Ray Didinger in his legal pad, and I'm sitting there like a schmuck without an undershirt, and you can see my chest hair popping out of my collared shirt and all. I'm so embarrassed, but like I remember Ray just calmly going, "That was great."
Is there a screenshot of that somewhere, by the way?
Oh, there has to.
That would be awesome.
There has to be.
Oh my God, that would be so cool.
If somebody has that, please tag us.
Yes.
But didn't expect Ray to leave this year. Honestly, had no idea.
No clue.
Was such a surprise when I saw Glenn tweet that out. So congratulations on one hell of a career. If you ever see or hear this, Ray, I don't think you understand how many lives that you have changed, from broadcasting to just being a Philadelphia Eagles fan to basically being like an encyclopedia for everybody. I've cherished every moment that we've got to interact with you, talk with you, and we're missing a big, big hole on Saturdays. As much as I know that Glenn will fill that spot, no one's going to fill your shoes, Ray. And that's going to be really, really hard, especially here and not seeing you on postgame. So for me, for Vince, for Taylor Cordatis, Ray Didinger, we love you so much. Thank you so much for giving us all the content and wonderful stuff you have all throughout the year. We will see you Thursday night at Top Tomato as we are giving away trips. The biggest one to go say hi to Carson. Thank you to Philly Sports Trips for kicking ass and taking names and partnering up with us this year. Thanks to Liquid Death and Awesome Sauce, awesomesauce.co, liquiddeath.com/bell. That's it for us. Okay, bye.